There are two main types of custody that people need to know about. First is physical custody. That is, where does your child live and how do they spend their time? Specifically, how do they spend their time going back and forth between both parents? That is going to be your physical custody determination. Your next one is legal custody. This means the right to make important decisions for your child. And I'm not talking about whether or not they eat Cheetos for lunch. I'm talking about the big ones: religion, education, healthcare, mental health care. Those decisions and the right to make them is what's encompassed in legal custody. When it comes to physical custody, there are a lot of different ways to go about it. First, we don't tend to use the word visitation anymore. We like to use the term access or parenting time because both parents are parenting during their time. Nobody's visiting their child. So, what types of access schedules are in existence? First, you can do an equal time sharing one. That's a 50-50 schedule. And that could be anything from week on, week off, generally better for a middle school or high school age child. You could do something like a 2-2-5-5. That means Monday and Tuesday is with the first parents, Wednesday and Thursday is with the next parent, and then they alternate weekends. If you need a little bit more frequent contact for someone even younger, a 50-50 schedule might even look like Monday and Tuesday with one parent, Wednesday and Thursday with the next parent, the weekend with the first parent, and continuing alternating so that you're never apart from your child for more than 3 days. These are just 3 popular schedules. It doesn't mean that there aren't other ones that share your child 50-50. There's also schedules when one parent lives further away from the other. That might mean that one parent has primary physical custody during the school year and the other parent has primary physical custody during the summer. It might be something where one parent has 3 weekends a month and the other one only has 1 weekend a month, but they get the majority of school time. So many different opportunities to create a schedule that works for your child or your children and your family. As you're crafting this, you want to consider not just what you want, not just how much you want to see your child, because that's hard. You really also have to look at what works best for your individual child. If you have a child that's not great with transitions, don't have one of those back and forth schedules. If you have a child that really struggles in school and needs kind of consistency during the school week, consider that. At the end of the day, your child is going to be happy with the time that they spend with both parents if you make that time focused and you make that time really centered around your relationship with your child. Legal custody is who makes the big decisions for your child. I'm not talking about the little ones like what they eat for lunch. I'm talking about the big ones: religion, education, healthcare, and mental health care. So who makes these decisions for your child? Well, if you don't have a custody order, it's joint. It means you both do. It means one parent can't vaccinate the child without the other parent's permission. And one parent can't pull the child out of school without the other parent's permission. And if you have a custody order that gives you joint legal custody, that remains the same. The two of you have to agree for your child to go into something or leave something. But what happens if you and your ex just can't get along? Well, the court has different options. They could give one parent sole legal custody of everything, or they can alternate. One parent might have sole legal custody when it comes to medical care, while the other parent has sole legal custody when it comes to education. Or the court might split the difference. And this is called tie-breaking authority. This is where both parents have joint legal custody and they have to work together to make decisions together on behalf of their child. But if they're unable to and they're unsuccessful, then one parent has final decision-making authority. That's always a good one to prevent little Tommy or little Jane from, for example, not getting braces because Jane's mom wants orthodontist A and Jane's dad wants orthodontist B. At the end of the day, you don't need a court battle over braces. What you need is to spend the money on the child's braces, and that's where tie-breaking authority can help. The best interest of the child, that term is thrown around a lot, but at the end of the day, it is a term that courts have come up with to have the idea that courts have a broad discretion to consider a lot of different factors to figure out what might be right for your family and your child in particular. There are a list of enumerated factors, and they can be found both in the statutes, in the law that is written, and they can also be found in case law. That means what courts have ultimately decided other courts can look at to see what they should do. But there's always the catch-all. What's in the best interest of the child? Any other factor that the court can determine what a decision might be in the best interest of the child. And that's because no two custody cases are the same, no child's the same, and the court wants to do the best for your family and for your child. Custody orders can always be changed. Families change, and sometimes there's a new set of circumstances that requires a custody order to be revisited. Things such as if one parent relocates 100 miles away, or if, God forbid, one parent becomes ill or unable to take care of their child in the way that they previously were, or if there becomes an instance of abuse that wasn't previously there. If something changes, then the custody order needs to change because the best interest of your child is paramount. If you want to move with your child, I have some bad news for you. It's really hard to do that. Why? Because the courts prioritize both parents being in the lives of your child. Now, you might have some really legitimate reasons to move. Maybe your new spouse is in the military and they're being relocated. Maybe your job is moving. Maybe your elderly parents need some help and you need to go help take care of them. There can be a lot of reasons why you would want to or even need to move with your child. But I gotta warn you, there is a risk. I have had parents who wanted to move or needed to move for very legitimate reasons, and the court determined that what was in the best interest of their child was to stay here with the other parent in the community that they know, the schools that they know, with the friends that they know, with the doctors that they know, and with sometimes other extended family in the area that the child has become accustomed to spending a lot of time with. Moving is a risk. It doesn't mean it can't happen. Sometimes, even with a legitimate reason to move, the child may not have things here that they need to stay. Maybe the other parent is already living somewhere else, or maybe the other parent doesn't mind. But at the end of the day, if the other parent doesn't agree for you to relocate with your child, it will become a court case. And the court will once again look at all of the important factors as to what's in the best interest of your child. And you not only need a great reason to move, but you need to show that the child's life will be improved with the move and that it is in the best interest of the child, not you, but your child, for you to relocate with the child, especially if you're relocating away from the other parent. Custody issues are complicated, but choosing the right attorney to help you handle them shouldn't be. At Z Family Law, we handle custody cases all of the time. Anything from initial custody determinations to modification if your family needs their custody order to change, to relocation cases if you need to move or if your co parent is trying to take your child to another state. We don't write endings, we create new beginnings. And every time custody is looked at, it's an opportunity for a new beginning for your family and your child. Contact us now.